What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And yes, this is me doing the voiceover. I am doing the voiceover for the Bitcoin credit card from Gemini issued by WebBank. I'm still protesting and boycotting out here, but ladies and gentlemen, seriously, Gemini.com/David G. Check out the lineup of credit cards. That's right, issued by WebBank. You got the Bitcoin credit card, you got the XRP credit card, and now you got the Solana credit card. That's right. All right. Gemini.com/David G. Check it out. Okay. 4% back in Bitcoin, 4% back in Solana, and 4% back in XRP. Forget about points. Forget about points. Go pointless. Is that it? Is that how we're doing it? Is that how we're doing it? Let me get my ass on here. Welcome to the breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, if I look sexy as hell, give me a hell yeah. Chat, give me a hell yeah if I'm looking like straight should I say it? Straight sex. All right. What's going on? Episode 611. Okay, 611, sponsored by Gemini. Look at that flag. Look at that graphic. I like it. I like this graphic. Okay. Sponsored by Gemini. Click my link. Trade $1,000 in crypto. Get $100 in Bitcoin. All right. You know how it goes down. And if you haven't done that yet, I don't know what to say to you. Honestly, if you haven't done it yet, I don't know what to say to you. By the way, I wanted to get a drink so bad. So I'm going to drink right here with you guys. That was good. That was good. That's some good water. All right. What do we wake up to today? More bleeding. More bleeding. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We fucking market is bleeding. I don't know what advice I can give you except, if you really fucking believe in this industry, then you continue to buy. And if you don't, then you hand over your shit to the institutions. I tweeted it out, man. I really do believe the market makers and the manipulators are sending it lower. Fear is at an all-time high. People are selling their positions into the red, which is crazy. Like, you're selling into the red when you're supposed to sell into the green respectfully, not sell into the red and get destroyed. I understand take your losses kind of thing, but like, it's unnecessary. You don't need to take any losses. We're going to go bouncing back up. I believe that wholeheartedly within the next few weeks. But right now, like, with the markets going down, guess who's going to benefit from it? And that will be the institutional players, the quants that are sitting there watching and laughing. Okay, they are the ones that are going to win. That's it. The only way to beat them is by holding and DCAing. That's it. Yeah. And by the way, most of the people losing money in this industry right now, at this very moment, are the people that are playing with leverage. It's not the spot people. Okay, people that are in spot DCAing, you're not losing. It's the people that are playing with leverage that are losing big time. Okay, they're out here losing. So that's why we tell you. That's why I tell you, stay away from leverage. What are you doing playing with leverage? What are you doing? You don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's the problem. You don't know what you're doing. And even if you did, the most successful traders win 40 to 50% of the time. That's fact. Regardless of who tells you what, 40 to 50% win ratio is what successful traders get. So what do you think your chances are when you're trying to go and pretend that you're a trader and that you understand the charts and you understand MACD and RSI and candlesticks and all this? You don't understand anything. It's the truth. You're new here, okay? And you're following people. So some random guy on the internet is telling you that it's a good time to go long. You don't know this guy from a wall in the hole. Hey, you're going in. A hole in the wall, don't know this guy, you're going in. That's why you're going to end up homeless. I'm being serious. You're gonna end up homeless because you're listening to random dudes giving you financial advice on social media. Okay, it's wild. It's wild. It really is wild. Landy, what I mean and what I say by that, Landy, is at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the most successful traders that I get to talk to, they straight up say, "Hey, I win 40 to 50% of the time." Like that is I lost a lot of money in the beginning. I lost a tremendous amount of money in the beginning. Not me, I'm talking about some of the most successful traders that I have the ability to go ahead and speak to, and they're like, "I lost like 50, 100, 150 grand when I first started trading." I know that I'm going to win 40 to 50% of the time. Some win 60%. But I'm not winning at a 100% clip rate. I'm just not. Nobody is. You see, like all these people, they come on. I know you agree with me, Landy. I'm just saying all these people come on to social media and they screenshot their wins, but they never screenshot their losses. And it gives you this false promise that you're going to win because it's that easy. It's not that easy. Okay. It's not. And I got to tell you, man, for people to be losing in a bull market the way they are, it is crazy. It is absolutely insane. People are just losing their asses in a bull market. Okay. Wild. It is wild. Anyway, for me personally, I hope the market goes down a bit more because I want to buy. Like I hope like I'm telling you right now, I really hope that the markets go down a bit more, flush out the non-believers so I can get an opportunity to buy lower. Like I really, really, really mean that. Okay. Really mean that. And I've talked about that a lot. Anyway, I'm looking at myself. I look gorgeous. Okay. I hope you guys got up this morning. I hope you took a shower. I hope you put deodorant on. I really hope, I really hope you wash your asses. All right. Anyway, let me bring on a friend here. And he's already laughing in the green room, but let me bring on a friend here. We've been friends for a while, man. He don't call me no more because he's big time and shit. But it's okay. Let me tell you one thing. My team reached out to him, and it's okay. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine. But he's a cool cat. Okay. Okay. He's a cool cat. Started with Wallet Guard, and now he's a big man at MetaMask. And this man, Michael K. Michael K, what is happening, my brother?
You are boosting me, so I gotta boost you. You're looking sharp as ever. Can't
Do I
no
look younger
complaints on
now?
that.
Do I look younger or do I look older? Which one forget
I
about the
I I
beard. I'm just saying.
I feel like you've looked the same since you came out of the womb, to be honest with you, with the
Thank you.
beard and
Appreciate that.
everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause. You'll like him. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to tell you at this point, like I know you're big on security. Okay. By the way, Michael's big on security. If you actually listen to Michael, you'd half of you guys wouldn't have got your wallets drained. Okay. This man was out here preaching. Okay, and you weren't listening. Um, Michael, but at this point, man, like with the market so down, who gives a fuck if you get drained?
Well, you know what it is?
I'm just
When the
fucking
markets
around. I'm just fucking.
No. When the markets are up, you know more scammers just appear out of fucking
Yeah,
nowhere, right? That's
yeah.
just the thing. But a lot of the times, like there are obviously people that might not have their seed phrases in the right place, or they might not understand that maybe 90% of the threats that we keep on seeing have nothing to do with wallet drainers, but they're from things that existed before crypto, like social engineering, phishing scams, malware, trojans. These are all things that are in Web 2, but they affect our Web 3 assets. And this is why, as you know, I've always preached we need to Web 2 before we Web 3. And there's a lot of easy ways to prevent 99% of the time the drains and the scams that we see people dealing with on the timeline.
All right. Tell me, tell me in layman's terms, how can some of these people that are tuning in today can go about that?
Yeah. So You're about to be your own bank, or you are already your own bank, and you don't even realize what it takes to be that. So we're expecting the masses to come into crypto when they don't even understand how to manage their own passwords or the importance of using an antivirus or not clicking on the wrong link when you do a Google search. So in order to basically have the best setup when it comes down to being your own bank, because banks have multiple layers of security, is to simply not use the same device for everything. A lot of people use a single computer to do their random Zoom calls, their random gaming and video game invites, to which always end up being complete scams anyway. They're also using it to do their work, their personal life, their shopping, whatever the case is, and their crypto assets. So of course, when you get on a Zoom call with a scammer, of course, when you install a fake video game, it's going to be affecting your crypto. So the best piece of advice, and for most people, this is not going to cost them anything, is to simply segregate your devices. A lot of people have an old phone or an old computer sitting in their closet that they probably haven't used in a long time. Pull it out, reset it to factory defaults, set it up the right way, but only use it for crypto when you need to manage your crypto assets. It's basically keeping the environment completely separate. So even if you do fuck up on your main device, your crypto is not affected.
You recommend that people have like a, let's say, they just go out and buy an iPhone, and
I wouldn't just go out and buy like $1,000 iPhone, right? Like that's not what I'm
no, but
saying.
I'm just
Like, people,
hypothetically. No, well, okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, get an iPhone that's not connected, all that good stuff, and put your stuff on there. Is that?
yeah, you want to use a device for a singular thing, and that's to manage your crypto on it. And you got to couple that with something like a hardware wallet, especially for what you want to consider. Hey, this is stuff that I don't plan on selling or interacting with on a daily basis, that I want to keep completely separate with an additional layer of security, just so that I know even if this device gets compromised, my actual cold storage assets are not affected. And all of these things just require setting it up the right way once. And then you don't have to constantly think about, getting drained or randomly being affected by, a seed phrase or a private key leak. Most people don't even realize that you can put a 25th word on your ledger or your treasure as a additional word that you create yourself on top of your seed phrase. So even if someone finds that piece of paper that you probably have all the words written on, they still won't be able to get into your assets. These are easy wins that people need to be educated about, and it could really prevent a lot of the times that we've seen people getting drained, as you've mentioned.
Why is it hard for people in crypto to secure their assets? Like,
Well, because it's human.
Why is everybody so fucking lazy about it? Honestly,
I'm
like,
going to tell you right now, look, it's human nature to not care until something goes wrong. It's literally like a default setting in people's heads, right? And it's just a thing, right? You're not going to think about getting your wallet drained until it actually happens. You're not going to think about losing all the files on your laptop or your computer until they're all gone. A lot of times people don't consider their devices might get stolen as they're out and about. What do you do in a disaster recovery scenario like that? So this is just a matter of using security as a default instead of just the default being, hey, it's not going to happen to me. And a lot of times it's people are afraid to even jump in and understand what security measures it takes in order to make sure that you're as locked down as possible. Because at the end of the day, nothing's 100% secure. But if you employ simple setting changes, these easy wins that we keep on talking about, we're going to get people as close to 100% as possible. And if something goes wrong, it doesn't affect their entire portfolio, or there's a way to mitigate what happened.
Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 611. I'm joined here by the one and only. I honestly, when it does come to security, like, he's on the top of my list. If I were to go ahead and want to have somebody come over to the office and lock shit down, it's Michael K, for real. Mike, how's MetaMask doing? How's everything over there at MetaMask, man?
Yeah, we are shipping, man. There's just so much coming down the pipeline. There's already a lot that's been released this year. We've been really focused on rebuilding a lot of the core infrastructure of MetaMask to support non-EVM and multi-chain. We just recently launched Solana support, and we also launched today, or announced today, that we launched Solana support on the MetaMask card, which lets you use your crypto IRL instantly, which is another component to us being a wallet. Now you have the card. And there's other things that we've also launched, like perps trading. We've announced poly market integration coming soon. Bitcoin support is coming next month. We've also announced Tron support. We recently released our stablecoin MetaMask USD. We've also announced the MetaMask token, which is coming, and also the MetaMask rewards program, which is another way to just incentivize people for using all these different parts of our ecosystem already. So there's just so much coming on the pipeline. I haven't slept in 6 months, but I love it because we're really changing the landscape when it comes to like, what can you actually do with your crypto, IRL, online, wherever the case is, and how do you actually do it safely and in the most privacy preserving way possible.
Mike, you know me for asking honest questions, right? And then these are things that are like when I chat with people, it's a conversation that comes up constantly. Okay. You don't have to answer it. You can plead the fifth. And you don't, I get it. And I'll understand. What is MetaMask going to have to do to overtake Phantom respectfully, or to be on the same page with them right now? Because here's my thing. It used to be the first word that would come out of somebody's mouth was MetaMask. Now it's Phantom. What do you do to go ahead and get back? I still have MetaMask, but I'm just saying, how do you get back to people having them utter MetaMask out their mouths again?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I just want to also like give a big shout out to all the wallets that are building: Rabby, Rainbow, Phantom, Trust Wallet. The more developers in the space, the more of these UIs and UXs that get built out and things get refined and tweaked, it's better for the concept of mass adoption overall. So I don't like look at, just like when we were at Wallet Guard, we don't look at other security providers as competition. The goal is to work together. And that's also what we've been doing and recently announced as well through SEAL 911 and also our security initiative at MetaMask, alignment with Phantom and these other wallets so that we can share security heuristics so that people across the space don't get drained. That's the ultimate win, is when everyone's working together. And I think that's really what differentiates Web3 from Web2 mentality. With Web2, everything's like behind closed doors, it's proprietary. But with Web3, I think everyone's like pretty much like on this road of like, hey, we're building out something from scratch, and being able to work with everybody in the space is like the ultimate win to getting to like where crypto should be in 10, 20 years from now, where the tech is so built out that even if you try to mess up, you can't mess up. So the way that I look at it is honestly that wallets are becoming the operating system of the future. In the web, in this future chain, right? In this future ethos, you don't have usernames and emails and passwords. You're verifying yourself in a privacy preserving manner, and you're using an interface to do so. And I think that what we're building out with MetaMask and all these moving parts and components to it, and kind of also bringing it together in forms of discovery, making sure that we're enabling networks, we're opening up these distribution funnels, we're making sure that we're improving the UI, the UX, and the performance, which have really been the largest pain points, considering MetaMask's code base is over 9 years old. It's almost 10 years old. And there's a lot of refinement at the core product level. And I think what people are going to see over the next few months is really going to change the landscape of how we're tying all these products together, and also making sure that front end, that UX, is where it needs to be on a competitive level.
Took the question. I got to give it to him. Could have pled the fifth. Could have said, you know what? I'm gone, David. Fuck off. Okay? I don't know. You brought me onto the show giving me this kind of question. You know what it is? Like, I'll speak from my side. You can nod your head. You could just stay still. But like, look, much respect to fucking Phantom. They've done a hell of a job. And I feel like they've done a hell of a job to onboard just regular, normal people into the space. That after 2 months, they're probably not normal at all. They're probably just crazy ass gamblers. But, like, I watch MetaMask and I'm like, man, like, if y'all can update the design and everything and just make it feel easy, like, like kind of like when you go on Robinhood and like it just feels like a game. Robinhood feels like, it doesn't even feel like you're trading. It just feels like a game. I think that's what Phantom has done. I know, like, look, MetaMask is a serious fucking wallet. It's just, and everything that's done with MetaMask, I'm not saying Phantom isn't, but what I'm saying is MetaMask is serious about building out, and I get that. I can't wait until
David. The thing is
it's just like, I sit back and I'm like, why hasn't the design been updated? Like it does like aesthetically, it does bring people to want to use the product.
Right, of course, like, you wanna make sure that it's fluid, it's responsive, that's all exact points, right? But there's a
You know, guys,
reason why we
I love MetaMask, and I'm not trying to belittle
No, no,
it.
just
Like, and
just
I ain't
just hear me out. No, no, totally. I totally understand, but there's also a reason why we move slower than other wallets. The core infrastructure and the back end of what we have when it comes to the security heuristics, the way that APIs are implemented, we don't just enable APIs, we give the users the ability to opt out of metric submission right out of the
correct.
gate. These are things that some wallets don't have. Some wallets aren't even open source. We're completely open source. We put all the cards out on the table. We want people to verify everything and make sure that it is the most secure wallet. And there's multiple studies, including one from CoinSpec, that breaks down wallet security at multiple different levels, DApp permissions, all these different things. And MetaMask always ranks number one in that independent study. And there's
I
a
was about
reason.
to say, like, y'all have to be number one. That's
Yeah, no,
100%.
and it's on both ends of not only security infrastructure, but also being privacy preserving. That's a core value of how we operate. And the ability to give people to the option to add custom RPCs, to change their provider for a default network, to be able to pretty much customize and add their own tokens and do anything that they want to do at a very granular level is I think a lot of the differentiating factor. And again, I just want to point back to all the UI updates, the UX updates, the performance updates. There's been a lot of changes, especially over the past few months. I want to ask you, David, when is the last time that you did like a fresh install of the MetaMask app on your phone?
I did it about 4 months ago. So here's what I'm going to say. I love it.
Yeah.
So I think I hope nobody takes this. Don't take the words out of context.
No,
For
not
me,
at
it's
all.
more
No.
so
I want your honest
not you, just
opinion. No,
no, but
David, I
honest
love
opinion.
that
I love it.
I
I
like that
love
you
it.
put people in the hot seat. I like that you put people in the hot seat and that
No,
you ask
because
the right
nobody
questions.
wants to talk about it. Every time they bring somebody on, it's just like, "Hey, what did you start from, and what are you doing? Oh, that's
Yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah, yeah.
phenomenal." No, but like, I know how great you are with security, right? I know MetaMask is a great wallet. I just wanted, like, it's kind of like when I ripped apart Ethereum and Bitcoin, like back in the day, and like
Yeah.
anything that I love, I don't rip it apart. I just like I have criticism, or I have good feedback, I should say, and
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, like, I'm out here in the streets, I'm in the mosh pits, right? I'm mosh pitting out here. And this is
And
the
I love
feedback
it.
that I get back. And I just want to say, hey, guys, you can level up even more, man. Like, I get it. For me, I'm old school. It doesn't matter. If the shit's secure, that's all I care about. Right? Like, if I put my stuff on MetaMask and I know you, and you're like, I know the way you operate, there is no way. Is there a chance somebody fishes me? Of course there is. But the likelihood of that happening with MetaMask is lower than others. So to me, like, all I want to see is like aesthetically, because that's the first thing that people look at. It's
Yeah.
the aesthetics. Oh,
Yeah.
that shit looks like a Ferrari, even though it drives like a Honda. Doesn't mean it's good.
Right, right.
Like, yeah, you guys are the fucking, you built a goddamn Ferrari out there that actually runs. You might look like no, I don't want to you might look like a Toyota. The people want to see a Lamborghini on the outside.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
might
yeah.
drift a little bit there. So no, it's not. It's respectfully just saying, hey, man, you know what? If you guys get that right too, it's game over. And I mean, I think what also doesn't work in right now. I think this is the biggest hiccup. I mean, you can disagree with me, and I'd like to have this conversation. Ethereum comes back, we're not talking about this. Ethereum starts moving and you start having everything that's built on Ethereum move, and people are using MetaMask.
Mhm.
They will. They're going to onboard. You're going to have people onboarding through MetaMask. So you'll see the shift from, this is my personal opinion, you'll see a shift from Phantom to MetaMask. Because those are the only two things that I think of. Yeah, I could talk about Base Wallet. We can get into all the stuff you just named as well. But I think you'll have that switch once Ethereum starts doing something, because that's what people are waiting for.
I don't think that's really what it like comes down to. I think
Oh, let's go.
on a second, yeah, exactly. Like I think this is a multi-chain interoperable situation. I think MetaMask is always true to its core Ethereum users. We've been an Ethereum wallet this entire time. We were a wallet before Solana existed, right? And but now we're looking at a point of, hey, people don't want to have 10 different wallets with all these different interfaces and UIs. They want to have something that's lightweight, clean, consistent, and ties everything together. And it does it in, again, security and privacy preserving manner. So I think really what it comes down to is with the MetaMask rewards, which a lot of people confuse for the token airdrop. There's, obviously there's overlap between rewards and the token airdrop, but it's not the same thing. And I think what people are going to realize, especially as we keep on launching like Polymarket integration, we already have perps with Hyperliquid. There's just benefits to just using MetaMask to do these things, because at the end of the day, what you get as a user is always going to be 100x, especially with the ecosystem that we have, against any other competition. Again, I don't look at it as competition, but like against any other wallet.
Well, it's healthy competition. It's fine. It's like it's not taboo. It's
we
like,
want them to
you push.
We
you want people to push you, right?
Yeah.
Like if otherwise, there's no innovation that's happening.
Exactly.
Like, you want people to push you.
Exactly.
Like I fuck with that. Like I'm just saying that if Ethereum had, like, we can talk about the memes, right? If the memes were popping off on Ethereum, you'd see more people using MetaMask versus, respectfully, Phantom. That just, it's the truth. And I understand.
Most people don't know that Solana support is now in MetaMask, right? Like most people don't know that. So
yeah,
I think that's also like a key message to get out there.
But that's what I wanted to lead to. Like, so you say all these things, and I know MetaMask is dope. Like, I really do. I think that the marketing needs to. You can say I plead the fifth, but I think like if there was more push on the marketing side, and I'm talking about more engagement, like in terms of social media, I think more people that are coming into this space, if they give a fuck about their assets, they would probably or should be leaning towards MetaMask. I'm putting it out there. Like, I'm trying to be super fair about it.
Again, totally.
I have MetaMask and I have Phantom. I think, those are the only two that I like. Like, and I know what MetaMask brings in terms of security.
1000%, man. 1000%. I think we also, it could always improve. Everything could always improve. I think there's also a large audience on TikTok, the retail audience that, could be tapped into. That's still might not be educated around that security and crypto exists. And I think what Consensus and MetaMask have done with the acquisition of WalletGuard and also our acquisition of Web3 Auth, which kind of brought the seedless and keyless onboarding experience, which we're seeing great results on, especially for mobile users. It makes it 10 times easier to onboard a friend or a family member when they could just, bam, like sign in with an Apple ID or a Google account. And again, it's not just signing in with an Apple ID or Google account, which means like if someone gets into your Google account, they don't get access to your wallet. There's an additional like a key phrase that you put on top of the wallet itself, but it just makes the whole experience 10 times easier. We need to remove all this friction. A year and a half ago, the onboarding experience when you install MetaMask was like 30 fucking clicks, now it's like 5, it's like clean, it's straightforward, it's fluid. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it so that removing all the friction, that's the ultimate win at the end of the day. We got to make Web3 as easy to use as an ATM machine. And back to the point of, hey, if you mess up, there's still all these elements in place to stop you from messing up as well. That should all be at the wallet level instead of 10 different extensions and all these security tools and everything. The wallet is the operating system of the future. And I think we're the ones that are building it in that path, in that right direction.
And I think so too. I will agree with you. Like with you and the rest of the team, I really do believe when it comes to security, you actually give a fuck. And I appreciate that about you. And you've, on your own time, not being paid, gone onto multiple spaces and channels and podcasts to go ahead and, talk security. And it's a big issue. It's just not a big issue until it happens, right? It's not like it's not, oh, I don't give a fuck until it happens. Then you give a fuck. Then you're like, holy fuck. So, Michael K, man, 30 seconds left. What's happening with the markets? Are you still in the markets? Or did you tap out of the markets?
Bro, I'm head down building. I don't think the markets matter if you're holding what you believe in, right? I don't give I mean, It's going to go up. It's going to go down, right? What's the reason why you're here? Is it because say you want a 100x, 1000x, or are you actually like understand why this technology exists and why it's important that we off ramp from traditional Web 2 legacy systems in all these different industries and offset those resources to the blockchain and open up more jobs for us, more opportunities for developers and people that really want to build shit that gets rid of the middlemen and optimizes all these processes that we currently have right now. I think that's what blockchain and crypto is about, not just like onboarding your friend thinking that they're going to 1000x and then you don't even tell them about security and then you're getting a phone call or a text that's like, yo, I lost all my shit, what happened? That's not what crypto is, but that's what 99% of people deal with. We have to change that, otherwise it's a fucking echo chamber. And I'm glad that you have these live conversations with real builders. I saw the one with Luca yesterday. And you do it live, you ask the right questions, and this is what the space is about, man, bringing it all together and making it known. Shout out to Goxstein Media, you, David, everything that you've done, bro. It's been amazing knowing you for the past, I don't know, it feels like thousands of years at this point, but we're moving at 1,000 years a minute, so let's fucking go, man.
Man, I'm proud of you and your growth. You know, I'm
Thank
proud
you.
to see like how well you've done for yourself. And like when people are talking about builders, like Luca was on, I had plenty of builders on, but Luca was on yesterday. Builder, right? I'll invest into a builder, right? You're a builder. Like I know you're honestly like you're not looking at your portfolio, you're building. I know where your head's at, and I can appreciate that. And one last question, 30 seconds here. Um, so security, right? That's a big issue. People are making money. People are making gains. It's seen on chain. What do you feel about privacy tokens, like or privacy coins or protocols? Like, is there a way, like, because like it can be that the bank is a safer place to hold your money than holding it in crypto, right? The whole purpose is for us to be in crypto and to bank ourselves. Yeah, it's not as safe to be here because somebody, as soon as they find out your address, let's say you're worth $7 to $8 million, now you become a target. How do we fix this problem?
I think
Is it
privacy
only through
preserving.
is it only through privacy protocols, like meaning coins, or is there another way to do this?
I think that the future of how this works is going to be exactly that, which is going to be on-chain privacy preserving zero knowledge layers. Like these are all things that again are being built out, which is why I'm glad mass adoption didn't happen quickly. Otherwise, you'd have like 10x the amount of people here getting fucking wrecked in the space. So as these layers built out, just imagine even something as sensitive as your medical information. How many doctors and hospitals and dentist offices have you been to your entire life? Probably, more than a few. And you probably gave them all your information about your medical history, your social security number, your physical address, your name, everything about you. And you don't know how they store that information. They might keep it in a cabinet somewhere. There might be a disgruntled employee that sells it on the dark web at some point. They might be already compromised or have been compromised in the past and have leaked customer information and data. These are things that happen all the time with ransomware and all these different threats. So how do we get to a point where you're able to prove that you are a real person and you have information attached to you without revealing your home address and your first and last name and your social security number just to buy something online, right? Like it kind of like fluctuates through all these means of how we operate as society and all these different businesses and industries. How do you get to the point where you can verify who you are, just like Bored Apes do when they show up to a Bored Ape event? We're not showing our the credit cards and driver's licenses we use. We're using token proof to verify that we are who we are without telling you everything about ourselves. How do you get that to the point where it starts to come into all these industries and these industries wake up and go, hey, instead of managing all this data and all these data centers and having to have all these cybersecurity teams and all these elements and resources, why don't we leverage all this to the blockchain and build out the right protocols to do it the right way? Because not only does it help us, but it helps our user infrastructure and our data and helps get rid of all this bureaucracy and paperwork and nonsense in between. Privacy preserving is the ultimate win. That's like the end goal, right? Like, how do you get to the point where you don't have to give up all the information about yourself and it's not all publicly viewable just because you're dealing with a traditional Web 2 legacy system, which hopefully in a few decades from now will be completely off-ramped.
Look at this. They love you, Michael. They love you. They love you. The audience loves you. Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 611. Sponsored by the good folks at Gemini. Trade $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. Terms apply. Man, Michael, it's good to see you. I appreciate you taking on I don't know if they were hard questions, but my criticisms but I appreciate you not pleading the fifth. I do believe in MetaMask. I do believe in the security that you guys do bring, okay, to the people, into especially to this industry. And I thank you a lot for coming on to the show. And I do want to kind of like bring you back and touch on the privacy aspect, because that's a big thing that is talked about. It's not like we want to hide things from anybody. It's just we want our privacy, right? Like you want your privacy. It's not about hiding things from any
Right.
agency, you know? So
Right. The
I'd love
thousand
to bring.
percent.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't mean
No,
to
I was
cut
going
you
to
off.
say 1,000%. It reminds me of the scenario that I deal with, which is, naturally I'm looking out for other people's security, especially in the real world. And generally with the older generation, they don't have like passcodes on their phone sometimes. And when I see that, I ask them like, hey, why don't you have like a lock screen code or a passcode? And they always look back at me and they say, there's nothing important in there. And then they like laugh it off.
Yeah.
And then I ask them, oh, okay, cool. Can I look at your phone real quick? I just want to go through your already pre-signed in banking app. I want to look at all your photos and videos. I want to go through your
Yeah.
text messages. And then you see their face be like, oh shit. It's like, what happens if your phone gets stolen? What happens if, someone, you let someone remotely into your device? These are things people, again, don't think about until it's too late. So you have to scare people into wanting to be secure. And at that moment, they're like handing me the phone and like, let's put a lock screen code on it, right? Like, so we have to wake people up. And I think opportunities like being on your podcast and the reach that you have is like the best way we could do it, right? Like, let's share this good information and make sure people stay safe.
I appreciate you, man. Really appreciate the kind words and appreciate you taking the time to come onto the show. Hopefully, I'll connect with you after the show and we can go and bring you back on for the privacy part. I really want to touch on that in the next few weeks, just to go ahead and take 15 to 20 minutes on it. But that's Michael K. Give him a
Definitely.
follow. Give him a follow, okay? If you
Thank
love
you. Thank you.
security, if you want to up your game on security, go ahead and give him a follow. Michael, I'll talk to you.
Thanks again, David.
That is Michael. He's a G. I love Michael, man. I love Michael. Michael's my boy, man. He's probably gonna kill me. Actually, I don't think he is. I think he appreciates honest conversations. I think a lot of people appreciate honest conversations. Okay, we will be back right after this commercial break at 1:45. We'll be joined by Brian Benstock, a successful entrepreneur, or should I say, successful businessman. But we'll talk about the New York City election right now. Will Mandati Zohan, will he be the next mayor of New York City? We'll be right back after this commercial break, which has no voiceover. Oh, there you go. Gemini credit cards. That's right. Gemini credit cards. Gemini credit cards. That's good water. That's good water. That's good water. I don't know if I should put. Should I put it here? Where should I put it? Should I? Okay. Anyway, welcome to episode 611, the breakdown, sponsored by Gemini. The good folks at Gemini traded $1,000 in crypto, get $100 in Bitcoin. A lot of you guys don't even have Bitcoin. I think it's time for you guys to, acquire some. All right, let's get right to it. I'm going to be joined by a legend. All right, by a legend. We'll talk about what's happening in New York City, man, because I really want to get his take. But let's bring him right in. This is Brian Benstock. Brian, what is going on?
Well, New York is New York, and today's a big day in New York, huh?
It is a big day. By the way, you're a legend. I just want to. You are definitely a legend. You've done phenomenal things in the automotive industry. I've watched from afar. I've obviously worked in the automotive industry for about 17 years before I retired. But I miss it. I tell everybody I miss it. The thrill of working in the automotive industry. There's nothing like it. If you can, tell us a little bit about that before we get into what's happening here in New York and what happens if Zohan wins.
Well, we have Paragon Honda and Paragon Acura in Queens, and two of the nation's largest Honda and Acura dealers. We employ here in Queens about 400 people. And so, we're really intimately concerned about some of the things that Mr. Mondani's said. And, but I'm also a marathon runner. And, I was at the marathon. I didn't run this particular Sunday's marathon, but I was there. And I'm reminded of a really good thing, David. I'm reminded of how resilient New York is. And so even if the unthinkable happens, which it may, I think New York is going to be okay. Let me just say that's how this all ends up. New York is going to be okay. That said, it's interesting.
I would never. I can't wrap my head around it. How anybody can vote for a socialist? I just don't understand it. But okay, if that's what the people want, right?
No, I don't think it's okay. And that's really not what the people want. And if you looked at what's happened in London and other major cities in England, a very small percentage of the population is deciding what the larger percentage of the population is going to have to deal with. And when I look at some of the radical things he said prior to running for office, he's going to bring the things that he's going to bring religion into politics. I'm not comfortable with that. In the debate, he questioned whether or not Cuomo had gone to a mosque, and I thought Cuomo really answered that question poorly. Cuomo should say, "I defend your right to pray in a mosque and to pray to whatever God you want to, but I don't have to be in a mosque." You don't understand one thing, Mr. Mondani. There's a separation of church and state. So while I respect your religion, I don't have to participate in it, and it's up to me and it's up to you. But New York City welcomes the Muslim community. It's just we don't want it rammed down our throat, and that's what we're seeing right now. And I'm concerned about that. A lot of the concern also about issues in Israel and Palestine, or that's not for that's not what I want a mayor focusing on. I want a mayor focusing on we the people of the city of New York and the business owners and the people that live here in New York City.
That's right. I do agree with that. I mean, New York is so diverse. I mean, we don't. The thing that bothered me was his 9/11 speech, and I thought that was just like an awful take from him, and it just showed you like what he's about, and it just feels like to cause division. Like to me, New Yorkers, if you're from New York City, like we don't have time to be racist here. Like we have things to do.
And in fact, the proof of the pudding is that only 24 years later, a person, a Muslim, can run for mayor and is welcome to run for mayor. And I'm happy that we have diversity, has the ability to run for mayor. But what concerns me deeply is his socialist / communist rhetoric. Used to be in this country, if you spoke like that, you got put in jail. Now, I'm not for that, right? But, think of the McCarthy era. If you were suspected of thinking and espousing those thoughts, you were locked up. And thank God we don't have that. But this acceptance, this notion of free stuff, free stuff, free stuff. Come on, people. We have to be a little bit smarter than that.
Nothing's free. Like I keep saying this, there is nothing that's free. Somebody's paying for it. Like free buses, so the bus drivers don't get assaulted. I'm sitting back. I'm like, I must honestly, like, my schooling, that the money that was spent on it was worthless because I have absolutely no clue what's happening here.
David, statistically, 1% of the wealthiest 1% of New York City residents pay 48% of the taxes. 1% pays 48% of the taxes. Yet you're hearing rhetoric like we've got to get the rich to pay their fair share. Imagine this. Imagine you walk into a restaurant in New York City and there's 100 people sitting in the restaurant, and because of your wealth, you are required by law to pay for not only your dinner, but dinner for the other 48 of the other people eating in the restaurant. Well, what would you do? You would stop going to that restaurant. You'd stop going out to eat altogether. And, we always think about, what if this 1% moved? And obviously, most of the majority of the people that are in that 1%, and I'm certainly not, have the ability to live wherever the heck they want. They choose to live here. But if they were to move, who would pick up that slack? And nobody. There's nobody.
You don't think, but Brian, you don't think that, like, he wins? You don't think people are going to, especially if he try, which I don't think it's going to happen because the governor already said, like, she's not going to up taxes. So, but if they were to do it, you don't think people get up and just leave? I mean, we get taxed enough. How much more? I mean, who?
The Governor Hochul, when she was running last time against Lee Zeldin, all of a sudden she became pro guns, pro police, pro everything, right before the election, and she just barely beat Mr. Zeldin in the last election. She beat him by a hair, and then nothing happened. She didn't change. So she is one of those feckless politicians that will say anything she needs to say. She endorsed Mondani, and now she's saying she's not going to give him money. There's no hope for her. We need a change in the governor's seat as well.
Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 611, joined by Brian Benstock, talking about today's an important day, guys. If you're not out there voting, and it's kind of like people are there. I have people coming at me because I'm a Republican. I'm an America First guy, no doubt about it. But I have people saying, well, how can you go ahead and say, or have people go out there and vote for Cuomo or endorse him? You're a Republican. Like, why not Curtis? Well, I know Curtis has no chance of winning. And it's kind of like, which arm do I want them to cut off? I mean, like, do I want a Democrat like Trump says? Do I want a Democrat or do I want a communist? I'll go with the Democrat.
Yeah, I think though, Cuomo's got a few more accolades that we deserve to give him. I too am a Republican, but Cuomo has vast experience in governance. His father was a three-time governor, an excellent governor. He was a two-time or three-time governor himself. And, he only lost the governorship because the Democrats were done with him. He was going against a little bit of what they said. So they did a public execution on this guy. And I'm not advocating any of the things that he may have done wrong, but he did a lot right over his term as a governor. I think he's pragmatic. I think he reaches across the aisle. I think he knows how to coerce, beg money out of Washington, D.C. I think he knows how to appeal to businesses and to attract business to the state and to the city. He knows how to build stuff. He knows about how to set up bonds with Wall Street to raise money and capital that can put some of these ideas that these politicians have in motion. So, I think that Cuomo wins when it comes to experience as a governor, experience as a public administrator. Mondani has none of that. I have sales managers on my showroom floor that have hired more people than Mondani, and these are great guys I have out here. But I'm not putting them in charge of New York City. I'm not going to put him in charge of the sanitation department, and he's in charge of all that. He hates the cops. He wants to defund the police. Now he's in charge of the cops. What could go wrong? Oh yeah.
It is that is okay. So last question. I know you're a busy man. All right. He gets a. I don't know. I don't know who wins. It's obviously I'm looking at Polymarket and I'm looking at all the data that's being presented. It looks like he's going to win.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
wins 4 years. You're gonna have 4 years of him.
Yeah.
Do you think people in New York City will finally recognize and say, you know what? Or maybe this is something because I've really been on the GOP's ass on this one because I believe like where's our candidate? Like we don't have a real candidate. Will this finally have the GOP take New York City seriously and have somebody ready to go in 4 years?
Listen, I say this: if Mr. Donnie wins, he's going to be my mayor, and I wish him success as the mayor. If he's the mayor, I hope he does a great job bringing the city together and making New York City great again. It's already great, but keeping it great, getting us back on our feet. We had a number of different problems that weren't addressed by the de Blasio failed administration and the Adams administration. So I look forward to bringing all the people together to work on some of these problems. And, a successful and prosperous middle and lower middle class in New York City is really helpful for all of us, all businesses. So I hope that whomever the mayor is, that they are successful. I want that. It's in my intelligent self-interest to hope that happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Brian Benstock. Like I said, he's a legend, automotive legend, speaker, appears on Fox News. Thank you for taking time to come on here and chat about what's happening here in New York City today.
Don't forget to vote.
Not going to forget. And you guys shouldn't either. Thank you, Brian.
Take good care.
Guys, I love, by the way, I wanted to bring on Brian for a very long time. I really did. He's a very intelligent guy. You guys should check him out on YouTube. He speaks very well. He knows the city, and like coming from the automotive industry, you know the name, you know the brand, and you know the name. So shout out to him. Episode 611. He is right, though. He is right. I did run for office too, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, whoever gets elected, we do have to just hope for the best. Like he is right on that. Like we can get caught up in our feelings. Like you can get caught up in your feelings and everything, but you hope that whoever gets elected can bring together New York City. 100%. 100%. I gotta give him that. You get caught up in this. You really do. You really get caught up in this. And my biggest thing is just like, I'm a Republican. I don't hide that. And yesterday I was going at it with, who is it? Owen. Not in a bad way, but Owen, took a shot at me. And I just laid it out for him and told him like, hey, like which hand do you cut off? And like, I'm actually very disappointed at the Republican Party that we did not have somebody ready to take on New York City. Like I'm very disappointed. I really am. I really am. Shoot, give me another Bloomberg. Give me another Bloomberg. I would have been fine with that. My only thing is like it's people like, well, he's not going to be able to do anything as mayor. Yes, he will, from a different aspect. Like I really do believe in the next 4 years, and I hope this is not true. I hope I'm wrong, and people replay, today's conversation and say, like, David, you see, you were wrong, or look at my tweets, or look at past podcasts, and they call me out on it. But I do believe, I really have this feeling, and I hope I'm wrong. But everything that's happening in London is going to that virus is going to come here. And that's why I'm kind of disappointed at the Republican Party, that we did not have a candidate ready to go ahead and win and take the keys to New York City. Because New York City is the greatest, I got to tell you, it's the greatest city in the world, man. And it deserves good, okay? Capitalism works, okay? Capitalism works for everybody. Everybody has an opportunity. Okay. If you're lazy, then yeah, like you're not going to make it. If you're lazy, you're not going to make it. But if you are somebody who is driven, there is so much opportunity out here, especially in New York, especially in New York City. Okay. Especially in New York City. Episode 611, The Breakdown, sponsored by Gemini. We had Michael K on from MetaMask. We had Brian Benstock, the vice president, I believe, the executive vice president of Paragon Honda and Acura. And he does a lot of other stuff. He's an entrepreneur, speaks at tech conferences and now politics as well. He appears on Fox News. I know about him because, again, I come from, you guys know, no, it's something I hide. I love it. I came from the automotive industry. 17 years in the automotive industry. Loved every second of it. Every second of it. Every second of it. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all my friends that are still in it. It is 2:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? You know how I do. I get the quote of the day out for you guys. We got a really terrific week on deck because we got a lot of people coming on that you guys know from Web3, outside of Web3, coming on to shoot the shit with me. Tomorrow, Wednesday, oh my God, I thought it was Thursday. I just figured it out. Hold on 1 second. I just figured it out. Today's Tuesday. What's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Hold on 1 second. What am I doing? Why is this not working? Oh, I hate this. Hold on 1 second. This is what happens when you're live. Actually, let me bring this son of a bitch on. Landy, come on here so we can talk about the markets for 10 minutes. Because we got a lot of people peeing themselves, including me. We'll be right back after this commercial break. And I got to go change my diapers. Guys, what are you waiting for? Get your asses to Gemini.com/David G so you can look at all the credit cards that Gemini has to offer to you, issued by WebBank. That's right. You can get yourself the Bitcoin credit card and get 4% back. You can also get yourself the the XRP credit card and get 4% back on that as well. And the Solana credit card. Yes, that's right. The Solana credit card, 4% back on that. Okay, so go pointless. I think that's how it goes. I'm probably going to get I'm getting shitted on for that, but go pointless and start getting real rewards or freaking Gemini. That's right. All right, we're back. I need a drink. Not like alcohol. I drink water. You know how it goes down, man. You know how it gets down. All right, let's go ahead and bring in Landy. Landy, what's going on, man? How's it going?
What's up, David? How you doing today? You enjoying conversation outside of the markets up until now?
Listen, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Okay? I look at the goddamn chart. I'm like, can I buy more? Yeah, exactly. I want it to go to. How about it? 7 Bitcoin to 0? How about that? You know what I would do if Bitcoin was at $1?
Yes, I do. I remember
I'd start my OnlyFans channel. I'd sell my grandmother. Man, you all know the things I would do. Yeah, I have absolutely no clue what I would do. Bro, well, you know what? This is, and I've said this multiple times, but like these past 2 days have really shown me that people aren't serious. Shout out to Rick Takashi because he's been saying that, but it really is. People aren't serious about crypto. They don't care about it. Like I care about crypto. Like the gains are great, but like I want to see things built out here. I want to see where we go here. Banking now sells is really cool and whatnot. I see for the last 2 days, people just like, it's over. What's over? What's over? Like, do you understand where I'm coming from? What's over? Like, crypto's still here. Crypto's still, the developers are still innovating. Like, You got a bunch of projects that are really, doing well in terms of building infrastructure and stuff like that. What are you talking about? It's over. What's over? What's over?
Well,
Like that's what I want to know.
I mean, we're moving forward in terms of adoption of the industry at large, and in particular, Bitcoin. We're not going backwards, right? But what a lot of people are fearful of is that we may have seen the top, right? And that fear is justified, um, but it's not over in terms of that just yet. I mean, the potential for things in this area to go down further is certainly there. It's definitely hitting some of the levels I've been talking about and been tracking right along. For those that have been watching the GNN content that's being put out there every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the market analysis side of things. But I've been very loud, especially recently. Last cycle, I was I mentioned this a few different times on some spaces events, and then of course the recorded videos every Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Last cycle I called the top at 69K and I said it was going to be 69K about 42 days before, and then the day before I said 69K to 70K. The next day I'm going all in short. And then I called the bottom around 15 and a half to $16,000 about 200 days beforehand. Now, why was I so confident then in calling tops and bottoms, but now I haven't called a macro top? And that's because the market structure has changed. And this has been a very different type of a bull market. And we are still in a bull market. And if price were to top out here, that's just another higher high. And we have a lot of different structure in play here. And then we have a lot of different players playing the game. Last cycle we had a lot of retail in, and we don't have barely any retail in now. And retail is completely sidelined. Main Street is still in a full-blown bear market. They have no money. And the real fear for me here is not about price action. The real fear here is what would be the most ironic thing to play out, and that is that we fake out a bear market and rip right back to the upside and leave all of those potential buyers on the sideline, so that all of these larger players that are accumulating and repackaging these products, right? Productizing Bitcoin. That's what ETFs are. They're wrapped products. And that would be the saddest outcome, is to not go into a bear market, because everybody always talks about like, well, I wish I would have bought at this price. Well, when you go into a bear market, you have the opportunity to buy all those prices that you were wishing you could have bought before. And the real nasty thing would be if we fake out into a potential bear market and then rip right back to the upside and keep marching on and leave everyone that would have bought on the sidelines. That would be then forcing them to go to these packaged products. It's all going into retirements and all of the rest of the stuff. And that would be the saddest outcome, in my personal opinion.
What do you think happens though here? Do you think, do you think we, number one, do you think we go under 100?
We already did. We went to
We did.
99,
I
800.
was fucking talking. I don't know.
Yeah, we did 99, 800, but all the Bitcoin maxis told me we'd never go under 100, even though I told them, it's very highly likely. This is a big area that we're in right now for price action. This is one that the bulls want to see hold up. Between 98,000 and $101,000 is a major weekly level. And the bulls want to see price hold up here. That would give them the opportunity to still be within striking distance of the highs. We're in a very interesting point in the cycle right now, David. As you know, 4-year halving cycle price theory is still in play until it's not. And the only way it's not going to be in play, and we're in that longer term potential for lengthening cycles, that would be after Q1 of next year, right? We're right in the pocket of where we've typically come in for tops in Bitcoin between Q4 and Q1 in terms of cycle timing theory. If that's going to break, it's going to break after Q1 of next year. And you can see how narrative could potentially line up that way with liquidity and rates and QE and that kind of stuff. But reality is that when price is diving like this, the fear of what may come in a potential bear market is starting to take over in terms of sentiment. And it's coming in right now in a very key area for Bitcoin, right around a prior higher low. Now, we did lose the last higher low between 107 and 108. So this is the next, we're in lower low weekly territory, but monthly structure is fine. It's still just an uptrend. Weekly can go into a downtrend while the monthly is in an uptrend. And until that breaks, it's not over. Structure is intact, right? So the fear is now, though, that we get weekly volatility expansion. We've been chopping around up here for, I actually have a chart here that I can look at to tell you how long we've been up here. 100 and this would be 161 days or a little bit more now. We're probably like on 165 days at this point, in this range, right? Between like 100 and the highs at 126. That is a long time, right? In total, we've spent 365 days as of today, 365 days above the prior cycle highs. That is a long time above the
Yeah.
prior cycle highs. Now, of course, you would expect that that Bitcoin, would remain above its prior cycle highs, but last bull market, it went and it reclaimed 2017's highs below 20K. Right. So we've spent a long time up here above $69,000. And I'll be honest, anyone that doesn't want cheaper prices on Bitcoin, they're crazy. They're crazy. Then you must be a whale and you're distributing if you don't want cheaper prices on Bitcoin. And even if you are a whale and you're distributing, it's because you want to buy back lower. Right. And I would love to see a bear market. My actual fear is that we don't get a bear market. That's my actual fear. Now, technically, all of the picture that's being painted is a setup for a bear market right now. And I would say that it's probably less likely to be as volatile to the downside as we've seen in the past. We have very different players here. Like I said, there's basically no retail here. It's all institutional investors. And
I
they're
don't.
going to pick it up.
I'm listening to you,
Mhm.
and obviously I respect everything that you're saying, but like I'm sitting here. This is what I kept wrap my head around. Retail never came in.
Mhm.
Rates are still high.
Yep.
Money hasn't gone brrr. Checks haven't been sent out because that's what they're going to do. Trump
I
is
hope
not.
not.
See, my thing is
Yeah.
Trump is not going to let the economy. He's not going to let the stock market. He's not going to let any market go down. Like he's just not. Like his ego and him wanting to leave as the greatest president of all time will not allow for it. Like
Well,
that's how I sit back and
here's where I
whether it's
disagree.
national thinking or not is a different story. I'm just saying, no altcoin season. We didn't have one.
We're
Like,
never going to get one.
but we don't know that though.
I
Why?
do,
Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we get an altcoin season?
because the market is broadening, right? We're getting far more products in terms of networks and tokens and platforms, and that's only going to increase, right? As more people are building and entering these markets, right? We're getting a broader, wider market. And as we get more capital inflows, it's going to go to less concentrated places, right? That is growth, and that is what everybody's wanted, right? We all wanted growth of the crypto industry. Well, growth looks like not concentration into, you know, one, two, three, top 10 assets. It's not concentration into those. It's, yeah, you get money flows into those, and that water will lift all boats. But it's about broadening the market in totality, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, people are coming here from Web 2 to do what? They're coming here to build. They're not coming here to necessarily gamble in the way that many of us expected them to. That was a bear market to bull market phenomenon. Yes, it'll always be a thing, and you will see winners win, and there will still be new all-time highs for some. But the fact of the matter is that we get the cannibalization of narrative of the larger cap coins. Look, Bitcoin, I've said, is the apex predator. It is when it comes to anything finance. But when you start getting into altcoins, you're now creating the stock market of alts, right? And we're going to get the actual stock market coming on chain as well. So now you have a very crowded space that is on chain and considered crypto. And I just don't see we're in an evolving market. The proof of it is it started with Bitcoin, right? It started with Bitcoin reclaiming a prior cycle high, making a new all-time high prior to its halving, and then now not seeing an alt season, not seeing that full-blown alt season, just a bunch of mini alt seasons that are all going to be rotational. And you'll see the top coins run, the big ones run, right? Your Ethereums, your Solanas, your so on and so forths, right? And they'll run and rotate. And you're going to see what used to happen from Bitcoin to alts happen within the alts, because all of that money that's being traded in Bitcoin is being traded outside of this leveraged ecosystem that we play in, and is being traded through the stock market. And it's being arbed by authorized participants for the ETFs. Those are the guys who do the buying and selling essentially for the ETFs. So that money's in the fiat side of things. Now it's not rotating back into the alts. So now what we have to see is the alt sector to continue to grow, and then you get that capital rotation from your higher or your apex predators in the alts, and that's going to be your Ethereums, your Solanas, your so on and so forths, right? Just work your way down the top list there. And that's going to be rotation, and that's what we've seen to this point is nothing but rotation in the altcoin sector, which is why we have not seen an alt season. You just get one that pops and then it dumps out, rotates to the other. It pops, rotate, 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 rotate. And that's what we're going to see forevermore.
I think this is the first time I'm going to disagree with you.
It's okay. I welcome disagreement because
No, the only reason, because there was a catalyst last cycle, and if there is a catalyst this cycle, people like to gamble. People who have money like to gamble. Retail wants to participate. They have no money to participate right now. Honestly, I've been thinking about this. Like, you might call me fucking crazy, but it's only been an institutional run.
Yes.
So, did we ever get out of the bear market? I sat here for the last 3 days, just looking at everything, looking at real data, hard data, and I'm like,
institutions got out of the bear market.
Say that again.
Institutions got out of the bear market. Main Street is still in a bear market.
So I feel like in the beginning of next year, I feel like retail comes in, and I said this for a while though. This is the last cycle. I've been saying, if you guys rewind back to, well, I don't know if the spaces were recorded, but the podcasts were.
Is my point to you, right? So I actually agree with you. Well,
I don't think, what I'm talking about is that sector. I don't believe we've had the last push on altcoins and the meme and whatever. You want to mix them all together, the alts and memes. I don't believe. You're gonna have people with money that want to participate here rather than there.
Don't confuse what I'm saying as we won't see new all-time highs on these altcoin assets, because we will. My point is that we will not see the types of alt seasons that we saw before. What we will see is rotation, because we will see new all-time highs.
But there was only one, right? Technically, there was only one.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that is, I include the memes in it because I feel the reason why I include memes, I'm talking about the real memes. I'm not talking about the garbage. There are memes and there are tickers, right? And I look at some of the memes as I can put them apart, or I can put them into the conversation. Like Luca was on yesterday, right? I could put Pengu into the conversation. Do you understand where I'm going with this?
Yes, but my point to you is that we will see new all-time highs on a lot of things in the altcoin sector and meme sector, but that is going to be heavily rotational because the market is continuing to expand, right?
No, I don't have a disagreement with you on that, but the only thing that I want to say is that at some point, Landy, people will they're going to get fucking tired of this. I'm talking about like the new tokens being made, like 25 million fucking tokens. They're gonna say like this is unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
And then from the meme standpoint, they're gonna lean into the ones that where the OGs will voice out like these are the OGs, right? Or these memes have history to them. We're gonna go and rally around these things, right? Or things that have like team leads like that are taking the shit seriously for more than fucking 72 hours. I'm talking about that, and then you have like the serious altcoins, the protocols that actually make sense, like a Chainlink and all. These things I feel like they're going to rip to the next level. That's all. I feel like they will rip to the next level. I understand what you're saying too. I understand what you're saying. I just
Yeah.
feel like if everybody if retail comes in here, Landy, and none of that shit happens, obviously I tip my cap to you. But I
Well-
know like they're going to fucking print money. Like, hold on one second. Hold on. We got to talk about a few things. Hold on. I know the markets have done pretty well, but the
Yes.
government is shut down. Like the government is not operational right now.
You're gonna hate the historical.
I understand.
Take on
Let's
this.
leave it closed. I get it. I'm with you. I'm not a hater at all.
You know that every
not
time the
hating.
government shuts down, the market rallies, and then when it
Yes.
reopened, the market dumps like crazy.
Yeah. I totally I knew where you were going, and I agree
Yeah.
with you. But here's
Just
the
shut it
but, right?
down.
How do you want more people to come in here if they don't got jobs? They ain't getting paid. Like people getting laid off. Like,
Being on subsidies is not a job.
but yeah, I agree with you. And 42 million people being
I
on
think it's a
fucking
job.
Snap doesn't make sense, right? But guess what? Those 42 people, maybe 20% of them go into the market with their checks, right? Let's be honest about it.
But yes, and
So
those are the
we don't have that. We don't have that person, right? They're
but
right
those are
now
the
they're
ones who've been
filing for
getting wrecked on
bankruptcy.
the Solana charts. Okay.
But you know what? But it brings in money.
My Snap benefits. I need them back. I need to get back into this shit around Solana.
Oh my god,
Hold
this
on.
is crazy. We just unraveled it. The altcoin and meme economy have been held up by the 42 million people that are on Snap and Wick programs and shit. Okay? There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when you tune into the best show. One of the best shows. That's right. Yeah, I'm an attaboy myself. I'm an attaboy myself. Welcome to the breakdown. 611. Hey, you gotta clip that shit up, Clippers. Clip that shit up. We figured it out. Once the 42 million people get them, and they're gonna get money. Holy shit! I didn't even think about this.
They're gonna get back pay.
Yeah, these people are getting back pay. A month's worth
This
plus
is the catalyst.
of back pay.
This is the
Oh, they're
catalyst.
coming to the markets. Y'all are crazy. I've almost said a bad word, but y'all are crazy if you ain't seeing it. We'll have 42 million people on back pay coming into the markets. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Bro, I don't even think you thought about that. I don't even think you thought about
Nope.
that.
I did not consider this. I did not factor this in my in my syndicate puppet models.
Bro, you want to talk about the real syndicate? They're coming. 42 million people in the United States of America. You take 1% of that. Watch what happens to the markets. Watch what happens to the market. Yo, these people are so hungry for money and food right now. They're gonna do a YOLO into the markets. Watch. I was right about the pause market.
We're gonna get some more sandwich stickers then.
We'll have sandwich emu.
You said it. Now it's probably gonna launch. By the way.
Send this straight to zero.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I want to thank you for coming on, Landy. By the way,
Thanks
guys,
for having me, David.
if you didn't, Landy came out on a Saturday to put his schlong out there on the table and say, "Look at me, I've called everything, bitches." He did that, and then Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, You would do yourself some good by tuning in to Landy's market recap. I call it a market recap. I don't know what the fuck he calls it, but tune into his shit and watch him break down the markets. Listen, you don't have to agree with him, but you can get a different take on how, like, he's not bad at all when he's looking at the markets. So I'm just saying, take a peep. It's worth 20 minutes of your time to just go ahead and tune into it and see what's up. Okay, maybe you've missed something. Like today, you missed the fact that 42 million people that are on Snap and WIC programs, okay, that use EBT cards, they're waiting to get that money to go into the markets. Get ready. You better be DCAing right now. You better be front running the snappers. Front run the snappers.
It's a good thing I don't have video. I'm freaking crying laughing over here.
I want to thank Michael K from MetaMask for coming on today. Security is definitely necessary in this space, and he's always done a phenomenal job, even going back to WalletGuard, making sure that security is first, and he's joined many podcasts, among even spaces, to go ahead and talk about it, given his own personal time on that. Brian Benstock, shout out to him for coming on. We're talking about, obviously, the New York City. New York City. Boy, oh boy, man! I got so many takes. I feel like I'm bipolar right now. I'm having mood swings with this shit. And also Landy from the Syndicate. That's right. Landy is here. He broke down the markets a little bit for you guys. We're gonna bring him back. We'll bring him back maybe on a Friday. We'll dive deeper into the motherfucker. But thank you, Landy, as always, for making time to show up. Okay, to show up. I appreciate you. Okay,
Thank you, David. I appreciate you as well.
Shout out to the snappers. They're gonna save us. We'll be right back with the quote of the day right after this fucking non-voiceover Gemini commercial. That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you think about having a credit card that gives you more than just points? Well, guess what? Gemini's Bitcoin credit card gives you 4% back in Bitcoin. That's right, 4% back in Bitcoin. They also have come out with the goddamn XRP credit card and the Solana credit card, and you also get back 4% in XRP and 4% back in Salami, aka Solana. All right, go to Gemini.com/David G. All right, and check out the lineup of credit cards offered to you by Gemini, issued by WebBank. That's right. Earn Bitcoin, not points. Woo! You better earn some Bitcoin right now. You ain't getting your Snap. You ain't getting your WIC and all that shit. You better... I gotta get rid of Landy right now. Hold on. Bye, Landy. You gotta get rid of Landy. Send them to the back. Okay? Them to the back. I love Landy, by the way. That's bro right there. All right, quote of the day, man. I'm fucking dying laughing that I gotta do the voiceover to a commercial. You imagine? I got the meanest New York accent. Okay, and here I am. By the way, slowly it's changing. The accent is changing slowly. I don't know. I'm just saying. We got a good lineup tomorrow, man. We got a really good lineup tomorrow and the next day. Forgot what day it is in general, man. I really did forget what day it is. I really did. Shit, the Jets traded their quarterback. A 20 Sauce got traded. Congratulations. The Jets will always suck. The Jets really suck, man. The Jets really suck. Yeah, holy shit, you suck. I thought the Giants sucked. We got hope. We got Dart. We got Jackson Dart. Shout out to Jackson Dart. I'm going to bring his ass on the show. We got Jackson Dart. This man, he scares me because he doesn't slide or dive, bro. This dude just runs into you, man. It's very scary because we finally got a quarterback. Because everybody the Giants let go of, they turn into like Hall of Famers. I mean, Saquon Barkley's a Hall of Famer regardless, but he wins a championship. Daniel Jones looks like Joe Montana reincarnated. Okay, like this man, Peyton Manning, Johnny Unitas, man, this dude is like just throwing touchdowns, running into the end zone. It is wild, man. None of this shit was happening on the Giants, by the way. None of this shit happened on the Giants. We got one player on the Giants, actually two. We got Andrew Thomas and we got freaking Dart. We had a running back until his leg was completely crushed. I mean, our luck. Our luck, man. Crazy. Anyway, quote of the day. Quote of the day. Wild work. Wild work. You know what? We need the devs to do something here in the crypto market. Okay? It's like that meme where the guy's just looking into, he's looking at the computers and the servers and he's just like looking. Like we need somebody to do something. We need somebody to do something. All right, let me get right to it. Quote of the day. Things money can't buy: a fit body, discipline, character, integrity, morals, respect, class, manners, trust, patience, love, courage, peace of mind. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Tune in. We got a great show. Okay? Got a great show. Who the fuck do we got coming on? Hold on. I don't even know. We got a great show, but I don't know who's coming on. It's always great. I'm fucking doing it. What do you mean? Like, all right, hold on. Oh, we do have a great show tomorrow. We do have a great show tomorrow. By the way, me and Murad will be talking one-on-one. Okay? OG memer to OG or new G memer. I don't even know how that, or OG memer. I don't know. We'll talk more about it. Okay? We'll finally get to talk about SPX. I know all you guys have been, SPX. Well, we'll talk to somebody who's been talking about SPX for a few months now, or more than a year. All about SPX. First $1 trillion meme. Okay? That's what you guys are talking about, right? Now look at you. David's going crazy in the crowd. Not me, another David in the chat. Going crazy. That's right. We'll have a real serious interview. What the fuck is being typed out here? What is being typed out here in the back? There are people, hold on. So here you go. That's right. It's always a great show because people get to watch me. That's right. By the way, yeah, you know what? I feel like the underdog for the first time in my life. Actually, I've always felt like an underdog, but like I feel like I got out of that situation. Well, you know what? I always feel like hold on, I'm talking to myself right now. I feel like I have the biggest chip on my shoulder. I've always had chips on my shoulder. I've always felt that. I always felt that. Landy told me to say that, by the way, but now I'm talking for myself. I can't believe, like, I'm the underdog now. Like, there is nobody that does interviews like I do. There is nobody that can bring the people together like I can. I am knowledgeable on every single topic. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm saying I'm knowledgeable. And especially when it comes to crypto, I know we don't have to just talk memes. We could talk altcoins. We could talk Bitcoin. We could talk block wars. We could talk blockchain. And I won't miss a step. How dare I be placed in the underdog category? I'll take it and I will show you. I will show you. You should have took me with the first overall pick. That's right. By the way, here's something inspirational for all you dickheads out there that are questioning things right now, that are questioning crypto. You have a phenomenal opportunity to win right now. Take advantage of this goddamn market before the 42 million snappers come back into it, okay? And by what I mean by snappers, or the people that are on Snap, on the WIC program, Okay, before they come back into this bitch, take advantage and front run them. That's right, before they front run your ass and you're buying the tops. Don't get scared by all this mumbo schmumbo talk. Chart this and chart that. PA this and PA that. FA that and FA this. How about FA and FO on these sons of bitches? Okay? We gonna win. We gonna win. How about we rally together like we used to and we're gonna go ahead and show them something? That's right. I'm preaching out here today. But you know what? I know we gonna win. Okay? Seize your opportunity. Seize your goddamn opportunity. Okay? Instead of looking at these chicks, I don't even know where we ran. This time around with crypto, we ran. I'm fired up. Hold on. Let me rewind. This time around in crypto, I'm having a Biden moment. Hold on. We're having a seizure. I'm actually laughing because I'm reading something that's making me laugh. Okay. I think we went very wrong here. When you guys are looking at financial advice from women who are naked, okay? They're not dressed. This is what I'm seeing on the timeline. You guys are taking financial advice from a woman. No, and this is not every single woman in this space, because there are a lot of intelligent women here who are building, who know their shit about blockchain, etc., etc. But we got women that are going like this. Good morning. What are we buying today? That brings nothing. That brings nothing to the goddamn space. Take that shit to OnlyFans. Take that shit to OnlyFans. I believe. They'll just write, I believe, and they're half naked. I'm telling you, don't believe these accounts, man. 90% of these accounts that are air quote identify themselves as women. There's a man Larry behind it. Larry and Tim and Jim. You're not really talking to fuck Patricia. You're talking to Patrick. You're not talking to Lisa. You're talking to Larry. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Anyway. I know for sure. Yeah, I'm cocky on this one. I know for sure I am the best. I am the best media personality by far. By far. 100%, because I keep it 100% real, right? Conversations, no bootleg interviews. It's just convos. Watch for the podcast. It's coming. I'm being very selective with people that I interview. They don't have to be notable. Just have to have a good conversation about a topic that we all care about. By the way, shout out to the 42 million Snap recipients that will be making their way to this goddamn space. Front run them before they front run you. And also, to end this, again, I'm very disappointed in the Republican Party. We should have had a candidate running to get the keys to New York City, but we didn't. And we did not have much of a selection. And now a socialist will be running New York City. And some will say, well, the mayor doesn't really have that much power. Okay? And we can agree on that. No, okay. But the thing with him coming into power is it will lead New York City and a virus from New York City with him at helm across other cities and states. If you've never been to London, oh, you gonna love the experience now. But I really pray there is a God, and it does not happen. Anyway, good luck to New York City. Thank God I'm not a part of it. God damn it, man. By the way, the Democrats are done. They're cooked. The Democrats are cooked. You guys are done. For you guys to embrace socialism, you're done. Cooked. Like your favorite barbecue, bro. Like, you are cooked. You're overcooked. You're cooked. You just handed over the midterms to the Republican Party. You're cooked. And Trump's gonna take over New York City anyway. Martial law. Anyway, on that note, socialism can never be done right. Socialism will never. I also got to talk to the Jews. I got to talk to the Jews. We're gonna have a sit down with the Jews. I'm gonna have to talk to the head Jews. I'm gonna have to reach out to the ADL, the Jewish Defense League, every Jewish, the Republicans Jew conference. We're gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out to everybody. We're gonna have a serious conversation. What is it? 10 to 19% are voting for him, for Zohan. What is happening? What is happening? Horrific. Anyway, I'm serious about talking to the Jews, man. I'm serious. Anyway, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. See you at 1 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time, for the breakdown, episode 612. Go visit Gemini.com/David G to go look at the lineup. Okay, go look at the lineup of Gemini credit cards, from Bitcoin to XRP to Solana. 4% back on Bitcoin, on Solana, and on XRP. Gemini.com/David G. One day we'll get the voiceover.